Hello folks. Been mucking around with some styrene. It's actually experimenting with shock absorbers for a friend. We've been talking about making shock absorbers, but anyway, I've been mucking around with some styrene, and I thought, hang on a sec, sorry, there's a bit of noise because I've got my baby monitor on for my daughter. Yeah, so I've been mucking around with some styrene. I've got acres of styrene, and I thought I might do a build that is a weirdish looking car, which is this thing, which is the Mono Posto. It's got a racing driver in it already, which is pretty damn cool. Quite like that. Don't like the wheels, but like the look of the vehicle itself. It should look pretty cool. Got a change of wheels for these Steelies. Awesome. And I got some styrene, so I started mucking about with the styrene, which I already had out for this shock absorber mock-up that we were talking about on Facebook. And I thought, why not do a build where, rather than me use my bits box for all the bits I've got already, and I'm talking quietly, I do apologise, just because my daughter's asleep. Rather than do a build which involves bits from my bits box, this has already got a driver, so I don't have to do a driver figure. Why don't I build a gun out of styrene? So I've cut all these bits of styrene out, and they don't look very much like anything at the moment, but I explain the thought process behind it. So, I insert this piece into here, like so. This little piece into the back. Stay still. You can see where I'm getting. This piece on the top, and these two pieces, a piece of I-beam here. This is the bit that won't stay together, and it's really fiddly. 1 second. And I've gone off the screen. I know, Tom. I know, mate. I do it all the time. Bugger. What a steaming bird turd that was, Justin. That's another in-joke. Oh dear, I need to stop doing that. I think that's a fairly passable heavy machine gun using some scrap bits of styrene. There's a couple of edges that I need to file a bit smoother, etc. And then let me just take this piece off the top. It's going to fall over the place. This would sit here, and then what we're using as a mock-up ammo tin. I may upscale this a little bit. I'm not sure yet. Would sit. Come on, you melon. Calling myself a melon. Would sit on that side there with the lid on, obviously. Possibly, in fact, I may do something with that because that's going to annoy me otherwise. And that would sit on top as I had it before. Obviously, I'm not gluing any of this together yet because I'm still in the experimenting stage. I'm like just slapping a gun on. And that's to work in my head first. So let's just put that like that. So it's super basic, and that's cool. And I've got a hair in myself. The only thing I really need to do is obviously the back of this is to block that up. And all I'll do is once I've assembled it, I'll stick it to a piece of square styrene and cut it out. Square styrene, sheet styrene, and cut it out. Now, to any boy, when you're young and you can make a gun out of anything, doesn't look too bad. I've had some greeblies to it. I probably had like a wire coming off of it. Using my copper wire, which I'm running really low on. I've only got enough really to make this shock and a little bit of spare. I've got a lot spare, if I'm honest. I'm just being frugal with it because I can't remember for the life of me where I got it from. Styrene wise though, absolutely acres of it. So that's no biggie. Excuse the rustling for a second. Just trying to find a certain piece. Yeah, I think that would work quite well. Thinking about it, it's not based on any one gun. In reality, the shroud needs to be a little bit shorter. And this barrel needs to be slightly longer. And this piece here needs to be slightly longer, the square piece, because no machine gun's all barrel. If you think about it, if you look at like a 50 cal, barrel's a decent amount of it. Barrel's about half of it. So this is already square stock is too short. So what I'd have to do is, sorry about the rustling of the wireless headphones, I apologise massively. So what I'd probably have to do instead, it'd have to be something like this length. This is the only problem with this square tube, it tends to fold over, but you can push it back. So in reality, thinking about it, that would be massive. Obviously, this is still a little bit too long. So what I'd probably do is cut it down a little bit. Remove this. Cut this down a little piece. Don't need that piece now anyway, because I've redone it with this. And looks-wise, that's more like it. It's more gun-like to me. If I look at it compared to, ouch, just ran over my own foot with my chair. It's amazing. If I look at it compared to this Anvil Industries gun, obviously the shapes are all a bit, ooh. So this piece here across the top is obviously a bit too high. So what I do then is find some stock that's a bit thinner, just say lower. It's the benefit of buying multi-packs. If you're going to buy styrene, buy multi-packs of different sizes. That looks a bit better fit wise. Then again, that's actually something else. That's just a bit of crap from my box. What I probably would do is take this piece of I-beam that I've had in my mouth and trim off or sand off the bottom edge. That would look more like it. I can also make a piece of it into an ejection port on the side as well by doing the same technique, so that's probably what I'd do. This barrel piece at the front's too long, if I think about it. And this is a good thing about styrene, as long as you don't stick anything together, you can muck about with it to your heart's content. I think, 1 second. The fit on these tubes is too tight. What I've done is I've managed to jam a smaller tube into a bigger tube, and the fit's so close. Now I can't do blooming anything with it. 2 secs. There we go. That's a bit better. So what I'd probably do something just blew up in the distance. Always fun. Last time that happened it was New Year's Eve. Someone had set fire to a motorbike down the end of my street. It's always fun. Oops. So, brush. Like I say, none of the edges are straight yet. I just stabbed myself in the hand with my knife, which is okay because it's fairly blunt at the moment. So, that's more like it. I'll make the top rail front. And then, let's move the back I've had stick. Oh, just flinged it across the rim. Sit on the sides like an ejection port, and then a box magazine on the other side. So that's what I'm thinking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to file all these flat, You don't need to see it. It's only a short build anyway. Excuse me. Funnels flat, stick it all together. It's going to be this general shape. To build a gun out of styrene, it's up to yourself how you can do it and what style it's going to look. But yeah, this is what I'm thinking of doing, and this is what I'm going to probably do. So I'll put it all together and we'll come back in a minute once I've done that. And I've mounted it to the car, and then we'll talk about what I'm going to paint and how I'm going to paint it, etc. Okay? Alright then folks, so there you go. Attach the gun. Colour doesn't show very well. There you go. Ejection port. Mounted it a bit higher. Magazine or ammo tin. Could go mad and do loads of detail on it, but I quite like it as it is. Change the wheels, roughed it up with a file, spray this matte black, obviously with my matte black primer, and then decide what colour to paint it. Might go for a bright colour again on this. It's very, yeah, it's very Miyazaki. It could be anything really. Miyazaki could even be Mishkin, I suppose. It's crazy looking enough. Love the single cabs with the crew. But yeah, so I'll spray this up and then we'll talk colours, and also freeze these two wheels because I've glued two and these two haven't glued for some reason. And then we'll come back and we'll work out a colour scheme, and then we'll time lapse the colour scheme, and it'll be done. Nice quick little video, nice quick little build, styrene gun. Quite happy with that. Awesome. Alright then folks, here we are. Army painter matte black primer on these. Got some in last week, so that's cool. So I'm all black primered up. Little guy in that little crew figure's pretty cool. So doing him, obviously. The gun came out pretty good as well. A scratch built bit of kit and the wheels and stuff. While I was doing that, and that was drying between coats and me dodging the rain today, made this as well. This is out of a Diesel Boy. Fantasy casting, so I added the front bumpers and rivets out of styrene, I-beam styrene. I took the glass out and I couldn't find the glass, and the cockpit inside's a bit of a weird shape and size to get figures inside. Decided not to, so I thought put some mesh in. I'll make like a cage sort of reinforced thing. And then weapons wise, I made this rocket launcher out of some tubes, styrene tubes inside a styrene box section. Styrene square rod around the outside as decoration, and then use this super thin styrene to make some little rockets. Very hard to see. There we go. Made 4, but they always look better with 3 of one fired, and the cool thing about that is you can see straight through the one where it's being fired. So yeah, quite a cool little casting. That quite like that. So that should paint up quite nice. Clever as well, because the body's metal and so's the middle part of the chassis, I think. The base is just plastic. Not going to change the wheels on this or anything. This was just a little another build. So what I'll probably do is it raining now? Weather's a bit crappy. I'll probably prime that later on or tomorrow. And then when I do the final reveal at the end, I'll obviously have this one painted up for that. Colour I'm going to go for this is this crystal blue. Because of the shape and the style of it, I'm just throwing around ideas for paint schemes. And I've got some decals down here. Atomic Walton style. With some shark mouths and stuff. Obviously, some cool shark mouths and stuff. So the idea at one point was I was going to put a shark mouth on this. But I've already done a Cunningham with a shark mouth on it. And it's very similar, single-seater. Driver over one side, gun on the other side of a shark mouth. So I decided not to do that in the end. So I'm going to go for a more bright coloured scheme on this one. Still going to sponge paint it, so it's still going to look pretty haggardy. I may stick a decal on it though still. So I'm going to have this Army Painter Crystal Blue. And what I'm going to do with that, so I'm going to apply it with a sponge. So I'm going to cut some time lapse, and then I'll come back once the first run of sponge is dry. Alright folks, we're back. 1 second, dodge camera angle. So yeah, in the time which you saw I did obviously some colour. Painted the driver figure mostly off camera because it's fiddly and I'm blind and I have to get it really close, which means you see the back of my head here, so that's not happening. Gone for blue wheels, blue under bits as well. So when that's together, that look pretty cool. Decided against decals, I've gone for these Idris stickers. This is going to be an Idris build. Both of these will be Idris builds, I think, because I think the blue will look really good in this diesel boy as well. And it's got a big old engine, which suits Idris to the ground. So I use these decals on there. I'm not sure where I'm going to fit these though, because unfortunately on the diesel boy there's not a lot of space. I'll work it out. But yeah, so I'm going to be adding these, at least something from Idris onto these, maybe the graffiti style one across the front. And then the Idris speed, try and get on the side. Anyway, I haven't decided yet, and I'll do that off camera. Anyway, build wise, this is pretty much it. And paint wise, it's weathering and details, and then the stickers, and then I'll paint the other one, which I'll do off camera as well. The weathering, I've shown my weathering a few times. This time what I'm going to do is run over with some Tamiya Weathering Master. My usual colour combos, so the soot, the white, so the snow for white, because it looks really, really good as like another vehicle's ground against it. Gone through the paint to the primer. Soot, a little bit of orange rust and gunmetal, and then the oil stain, which is my standard like greasy black. I'll do that around the gun barrel and stuff. The gun itself, like I said before, is very, very basic. It almost looks like a Warhammer 40,000 bolter, which is cool, but it's super, super basic. It's never going to have the details of, I'm going to dirty this up a little bit as well, obviously. It's never going to have the details of one of the 3D printed or resin cast guns, but that's not the point of this build. It's the same as this missile launcher. Super, super basic. I need to go back over this some more primer. I've already done a front above shutter primer. It's now getting dark and damp outside, so I'll finish this off tomorrow. But yeah, so it's super, super basic building this as well. The point of the builds are, it's just to show that you can do different things. Like I do a lot of builds of parts that I bought. I do lots of build videos of parts that I bought, but I thought I'd do a bit of a change up once. There's another little build I've been working on in between coats of paint. It's just the Landlord, which is a 1981, which is the year I was born in, which is a long while ago. Hot Wheels, Hong Kong, purely came in a trade box. I've just added a Industries gun to the front. This will be another buggy. I haven't decided on the colour scheme yet, so I've just been playing around with between paint and stuff drying on this. But this is a super simple build. It's got a single gun on it. I've changed the back wheels. That's all I'm going to do. It's got a yellow canopy. I'm going to spray this black, obviously. Need the interior black with the yellow canopy back on. No crew in there, only because the steering wheel's built in and it's a bit of a fiddly one. And also with the canopy on, it distorts it quite badly. So it's like this sort of yellow, which I don't mind. I think it will look cool. So I'm going to try and find a complementary colour to that yellow. On that's a different build. Next video after this one will probably be my shorty school bus build, which I've got set out on the desk over the back. That'll be my next build video, and then it'll be another terrain video after that. But anyway, time's getting on. Gonna sort these stickers out because they're fiddly and I'm not gonna do them on camera. And then sort the weathering out, paint up the other car. So next time I come on, it'll be a lot brighter in here because now it's dark, obviously. It'll be some point tomorrow. Cheers, folks. Alright then, folks, that's the pair of them all done now. Yeah, very much. It's not too difficult a paint job. Didn't go overboard on the paint job. At the end of the day, this is a quick build video. Repair of quick builds. I mean, main emphasis on this is the styrene work. So obviously the scratch built missile launcher, the cage with the mesh over the driver's part on the diesel boy, which is this thing here, and then obviously the heavy machine gun on the upper buggy here. Obviously, as you can see with the paint job on the machine gun on buggy, I've put a little mouth on the front because the eyes and that little bit sticking out are just too good not to put a mouth on. Got a couple of Idris garage style, speed shop style stickers on Idris speed, it actually says, sorry, on this buggy. And then the other one, there wasn't really any flat space enough to put any the other decals, so I just put the Idris graffiti style stickers on. I think they both came out really, really good. Like I said before, white was going a bit weird then. A couple of quick builds. The main emphasis was on the styrene parts of it, but I think they came out really, really well, so super pleased with them, as always. Anything I'd do again? I don't know, I'm not massively in love with the blue colour, but otherwise all my cars would be black or red or rusty, so I need to paint different colours once in a while. So yeah, awesome. Let me know what you think below in the comments. Like I say, next video will either be another terrain video or be the school bus build, the shorty school bus build, or something else. Probably not. Be one of those two things, I think. Have a good rest of the weekend, and I shall see everyone next time.